It's been a solid 4 months since my last Ashes of Creation video, which means it's once again time for me to update the casual followers of this MMO that don't have the time to tune into every hour-long livestream about the progress of the game. And let me tell you, the past 4 livestreams have been absolute bangers, with one of them in particular being my favourite progress update shown by Intrepid so far. But first, today's sponsor, Omni Heroes. Embark on a heroic fantasy adventure in a world shrouded in darkness with Omni Heroes, a casual take on classic strategy RPGs. Eve, the world's creator, has given you the mission to locate the 7 sacred Valkyries that will fight alongside one another in either a PVE or PvP format against the evils that threaten the world. To realise your full potential, you must forge bonds with the Valkyries and enhance your character how you see fit with the variety of talent paths available. Enjoy the traditional 5v5 turn-based combat, and with the different synergies and characters at your disposal, mix and match to build over 100 different team lineups. Or, if you have a busy day ahead, take advantage of Omni Heroes' relaxed idleness. Keep your game open whilst going about your day in the real world, whilst earning rewards in the Omni world. You'll become completely engrossed in this world thanks to the hand-drawn aesthetic and distinct background scenes. You might even start playing the in-game Labyrinth or Blackjack. So download now alongside 1 million other players and receive unique rewards for your early entry. To top it all off, don't forget to get yourself the 777 free summons, securing yourself a minimum of 5 legendary heroes. Links available in the description below, or use my QR code on screen. Download now. So the last time I updated you on Ashes of Creation, we covered the Alpha 2 tank showcase, the UI update, as well as the story arc system shown off in January, February and March of this year. April's livestream was one that I was personally very excited for, as it was our first glimpse at the mage archetype since the combat revamp. I basically play some form of mage in every MMO, and I can't really see that changing in Ashes, especially after what was shown off in this livestream. Starting out, Steven showcased some abilities: Blink, Ball Lightning, Blizzard, Cone of Cold, Lightning Strike, Arcane Volley, Elemental Empowerment, which is an ability that works together with your weapon basic attack and previous elemental ability cast, Frostbolt, Slumber, which is an AoE CC, Chain Lightning. The thing that impressed me the most about Chain Lightning is that it can actually arc around corners if your character is pointing in a certain direction, which I haven't seen done before in an MMO. And the final ability demonstrated was Mana Shield. Overall, the mage showcase in April was pretty cool. The combat didn't blow me away or anything, but it looked passable for the game's current state of development. One thing I liked in particular is that most of the spells don't completely root you in place, and you can still slowly move whilst casting abilities, which will help make the combat feel a lot better with more player agency than just being rooted. The May update livestream was definitely another one I'd consider to be a banger, as we finally got to see the Cyclops world boss fight against a full raid of 16 players. The preview started out with Steven on a mage in the Riverlands during the winter season. Before encountering the Cyclops, we got to see a cool example of the mob aggro system against some giant spiders. Unlike most MMOs where mobs straight up aggro you, in Ashes some of them will threaten to aggro you by changing to a defensive posture if you get too close before attacking. This is another nice bit of attention to detail and immersion that I haven't seen done before in other MMOs. Eventually we encountered the Cyclops, which instantly impressed me with how he paths through the world. Not only do you hear the stomps of his footprints from far away, but you can also see and hear trees fall down as he walks past them. We followed the Cyclops until we reached his combat arena, at which point the rest of the raid decides to show up. He was then engaged in combat and we were able to get a look at his mechanics. Now, world bosses in MMOs typically don't have many or any mechanics other than just tank and spank. but the Cyclops did actually impress me, not only with his mechanics but also animations. There's a crush ability that tanks need to block or take massive damage, there's raid-wide AoE roots, cone attacks and a charge. At about 60% HP he drops his tree totem and players need to DPS it down before it spawns healing caps which restore his health. And once the totem is destroyed, Tumok gains a new mechanic where he slams the ground multiple times, dealing massive raid-wide AoE damage each time. Overall, a really cool fight and an absolute sight to behold, seeing this massive Cyclops charge around an area dealing environmental damage and slamming groups of players. Mechanically, the encounter doesn't appear to be too difficult, but it is just a low-level world boss, and for me the most fun aspect of world boss fights is the sheer spectacle of having large groups of players come together to enjoy an epic encounter in the open world. So in that regard, I think what was shown here was a success. The Ashes June update was by far my favourite livestream so far, as it showed off a side of the game that I'm personally the most excited about: the real space player housing and freehold system. For the longest time, what's excited me the most about Ashes is the idea of having my own real space area in the world where I can grow crops, craft, place furniture, raise livestock and so on. This was the main thing I enjoyed about Arcade, and I think real space housing really allows you to feel like you live in the world of an MMORPG. This showcase started out with the team showing off some gemstone resources in the Riverlands, Stephen wearing a really cool mage gear set, and overall the autumn scenery looking absolutely stunning. The team mount up on these giant bunny mounts and head towards the freehold. I thought the mounts running animation here looked expertly done. We arrive at the freehold and straight away you can see this massive plot of land, way bigger than was planned for in this game's early stages of development. Initially freeholds were supposed to be half an acre in size, but since the Unreal Engine 5 update and the team increasing the size of the world by roughly 3x, freeholds are also increasing in size by 3x to 1.5 acres in size. Visually, I think the current size of this land looks way more immersive and believable, compared to everything being rammed together in close proximity in a half-acre freehold. The team parked their mounts and showcased some parts of the freehold. In Ashes, mounts don't disappear, they actually stay where you leave them, similar to games like BDO, which I think is another nice immersive touch. In the freehold we were shown wheat and corn being harvested, eggs could be collected from chickens, cows were milked, pigs could be butchered, and tomatoes were picked. We got to have a look at a freehold crafting station, which is apparently the place where the highest level craftable equipment in the game can be made, and we also had a look inside this small cozy sized house that was filled with furniture. Another thing that was showcased here is the material inventory system that Intrepid are experimenting with. Basically, different materials have different inventory slot sizes rather than weight, which means you'll literally need to play inventory Tetris to manage your gathered mats. This isn't a thing for the game's normal inventory, and you'll be able to get different bag types with different layouts. It's an interesting idea that I'm not too sure if it'll just end up being annoying or actually add a sense of progression to material inventory. I guess we'll find out during Alpha 2 testing. Now during this live stream there was a lot of information. We had slides that explained the progression system for different freehold buildings, an updated explanation on the purpose of freeholds, how to get a freehold and freehold availability. Something that certain MMO players might find controversial is that not everyone will be able to get a freehold. It's something that you'll need to work hard to obtain, and there'll be a certain level of prestige to having one, especially in a good location. This means if you're a 1 hour per week MMO Andy, then odds are you're not going to get one, and in my opinion, this is fine. If everyone could have a freehold, the entire world would be littered with them and it'd look a mess. If you've got 10,000 people per server, not everyone can have a 1.5 acre piece of land, and freeholds will be cool precisely because not everyone can have one. For everyone to have access to freeholds, they'd need to be instanced, which would make them less immersive and less cool, basically WoW garrisons. So yeah, I like the current design direction for this, and the game does have other forms of more accessible housing like instanced apartments. Overall, the Ashes of Creation June livestream far surpassed my expectations and reminded me of one of the main reasons that I'm excited about this game in the first place. As much as the combat stuff shown previously looks okay, there's many MMOs with good combat and dungeons. There isn't, however, many MMOs where you can own real space land and truly live out the fantasy of having a second life inside of a game. Something else I wasn't expecting was the sheer amount of depth that the freehold system seems to have, with the progression trees for each of the buildings. So far, if you're someone that loves the whole life, skill, profession and economy game path in your MMOs, Ashes of Creation's looking like it's going to offer an experience truly next level compared to other MMOs. July's Ashes of Creation livestream was initially meant to be a long-awaited node update, but this was unfortunately pushed back, so we instead got another showcase of the Alpha 2 Cleric. This time, however, we got a much more comprehensive look at the class with 18 different abilities on display, compared to the 4 or 5 shown back in November of 2022. This livestream took place in the Highwayman Hills, a visually stunning location that would be the perfect spot to ambush a passing caravan. Typically this area is supposed to be inhabited with bandits, however during the livestream there's a story arc in progress where Minotaurs have seized control of the area. The purpose of my Ashes coverage is to be as concise as possible, so I'll just show the abilities demonstrated along with the tooltips, and you can just pause and read them if you like. I'd imagine most of you just want to see the visuals though, so enjoy. After the ability showcase, we got a look at the work in progress UI customization option, which so far looks really clean, and after that the team basically fought their way through a point of interest to show off the cleric's healing capabilities under stress.
Some heals.
Oh, wrecked that wolf.
Alright, I've got...
What are we doing next?
Okay.
Can you get these? I'll get aggro on these guys.
Focus fire, yeah. Try to AoE if you can.
Oh.
AoE it all down. Big AoE. I'm gonna do a trip.
I'm doing a delayed heal. Yes, maximum AoE power!
Blizzard time.
Are you doing the wave attack too? Yeah.
Yes.
That one's so good.
Oh, we got
There's a
it.
delayed heal.
Nice. Getting all the value out of it. Try to get out.
Some judgment. Okay.
Throwing a sleep out.
Nice, we got it. Easy.
That was super easy.
Overall, another solid livestream, and seeing classes become more fleshed out with a full kit of abilities is making it seem like Alpha 2 isn't actually that far away now. I liked that some of the cleric's abilities have some interesting meta decisions to maximise efficiency, and visually I thought the spell effects looked pretty good. As a whole though, in its current state, I think Ashes of Creation's combat looks like a 6 or 7 out of 10 compared to the rest of the MMO genre, which isn't too bad really, considering the game isn't finished yet and is likely to improve quite a lot. Oh, one more thing, September's Alpha 2 pack will be your final chance to buy access for Alpha 2, as Intrepid have announced they already have more than enough testers. So if you're desperate to play, then buy it whilst you still have a chance. If not, no worries, I'll be covering it extensively on the channel. But that's pretty much it for my summary of the past 4 months of Ashes of Creation updates. In the next few months we should get a big updated node related livestream, which might even be worthy of me covering in a separate video rather than a quick overview, considering the node system is the most unique aspect of Ashes that sets it apart from every other MMO in the genre. Let me know what you think about the past few months of Ashes progress in the comments below, which aspect of the game are you most excited about, and do you think we'll see Alpha 2 before the Milky Way galaxy is eventually consumed by the supermassive black hole at its centre? If you want to support my Ashes coverage, then sign up with my referral code, social media on screen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.